person here. Can't really read it. Is it Baron L? 33 years?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Do you have anyone to introduce you?
Nope.
Well, gosh darn it, man. My name is Matt, and I'm an alcoholic, and I'd like to introduce you.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Go ahead.
33 years of sobriety. Woo! That is such a gift. When I walked in the doors of Alcoholics Anonymous, there was an old guy in the meeting who was celebrating 30 years of sobriety, and the whole place stood up, and my sponsor held me down. He said, we don't stand up for drunks that make another 24 hours of sobriety, because that's all we got, right? Come on up here and get your chip, man.
Thank you. Tonight I'm going to change my name. I'm not saying it right now. I came here from Sweden 15 years ago, and I've been struggling with my name because nobody can say it or spell it. I always have to repeat it many times. If I open a bank account, it always comes back wrong. So tonight I feel that I have come somewhat in my sobriety. Now I'm more flexible. It doesn't have to be my way anymore. So tonight I'm announcing that my name is Ben. and I am an alcoholic. I actually came to New York 1980 due to alcohol problems in Sweden. And I stayed here for 10 years, which is the statute of limitation for tax evasion in Sweden. And it was wonderful to come to USA because here you could buy alcohol around the clock. In Sweden you could only buy alcohol in certain stores run by the government and very short opening times. And in 1980 you could drink in a bar and drive to the next. Angry drunk mothers. Mothers against drunk alcoholics. You know what I mean. Wasn't invented yet.
Yeah, you got it.
And the price for a bottle of Chivas Regal, my favorite, was less than the cheapest vodka in Sweden. So it was heavenly for an alcoholic to come here. So I had no problem to stay here. The problem was that I met a girl who introduced me to pot. Sweden, we didn't have pot in Sweden, not in those days. No, we do. But people who used hashish and pot and pills, they were lowlifes and criminals. we were real men. We drank alcohol. So we did that very well. And I drank a lot. I met a woman when I was about 15. I think she said her name was Ethanol, but I heard it wrong. I thought it was Ethel, because that's an American name, right? Ethel. But it was actually ethanol, and her last name was alcohol. And we fell in love with each other, really. I was only 15, so I wasn't of age yet, really, but she did everything for me. She made me feel like I was of age, and I behaved like it. And we covered for each other. She did everything for me. She made me feel so good, strong, daring, good looking even. Remember, this is way back now. And we had a good time together for years, actually, really. I was falling upstairs as you stay here. You feel that it's going upstairs, but you're actually on the way down. And later on, she started to turn on me. She wasn't my friend anymore. She wanted me harm. She wanted to kill me, actually. She was very close to do it. So after 5 years smoking pot and being really paranoid from it, at that time I was an illegal alien here. In 1986, I got pardoned by President Reagan. There were 3 million Mexicans and a handful of European guys, and I was things went very downhill, and one day in the shower I said Bernd, which was my real name at that time. Don't use it now. Bernd is the name. I stood in the shower and said, Bernd, now you have lost everything. You lost your family, your name. I was living under false name, of course. So I had lost everything, my business, my family, my wonderful wife and daughter. And I stood over the abyss looking down, and I felt that, I'm going to die soon. There's nothing else to do. So this got me to AA. And when I came there, they said, if you stop drinking and come to us, our meetings here, things will be better beyond your imagination. And I thought, yeah, right. American salesmanship, they promise something in the future. I didn't buy that. And when I saw that second, restore us to sanity, I haven't admitted that I am insane. Now I know I was, and still am actually. So it was an adventure for me to come in. First night, I stayed in my car outside AA, just see people go in and out. Same thing the second night. The third night, I made a rush in. I was last in and first out. But somehow, somebody gave me a big book at that meeting. And after that, I went regularly, one day at a time. And for the first 3 months, I didn't say anything. I couldn't speak, I couldn't think. I used to be a talker. I was the chairman of the student body and in the military and things like that. You don't get elected by thousands of people if you're not a good representative, but I was quiet, really quiet. It was very hurtful, anxiety, depression. I didn't know what had happened to me. It felt like somebody hit me in the neck with a baseball bat. I was just out. And I couldn't figure out, how did this happen? Did I walk on the sidewalk and a brick hit me in the head? Or what? How did it happen? I figured I had my office under a doctor's office in Sweden. And I thought, gee, those guys had x-ray machines up there. I'm probably sitting right under it, and somebody messed up with the insulation on the floor there. So I called my friend there, he was a doctor there. No, the x-ray machine was on the other side of the house. So I really was looking for it. And I have had a problem with my neck for 40 years now. And I start to understand what it is. I was hit twice by lady alcohol. When I was 2, my father came home drunk one night, and I was crying and wanted Mom to pick me up, and he was going to teach me a lesson. And I ended up in the hospital for 1 week. I don't remember it, my body probably remembers it. And right now I'm in contact with Barrows to see if there are brain injuries that has caused me this pain for 40 years in my life. And so I was hit by lady alcohol twice, through my father's drinking and through my own. But now I am in brain surgery. I go to AA, and it's a very modern way to change the brains. They do it with sound waves. All I have to do is to go in there and sit down, and I hear people talk, and those waves go in my ears and change my brain. I promise you, it changed it. I don't know how, but it's magic. So all you have to come here is to keep your ears open and listen, because changes will happen. Also, if you are lucky, you have intelligent feet. How many have heard about intelligent feet? Yeah, some have. When your brain say, I'm too tired today to go to AA, I go tomorrow. Oh, there's a good movie, or I could do this, or I could. But your feet, they are smart. They stand you up, walk away with you to name it, and put you down on the chair. That if you have those lucky feet, you are in good shape, because that will save your ass. And I've been through tough times. After 5 years sobriety here, I moved back to Sweden, with 10 years for then. I was afraid AA was not going to exist in Sweden, but it did. It came to Sweden 1960, I think, but the Swedes didn't like 3 of the steps. And you know why? Because it said God, and that was not for Swedes. So they took those steps out, and they changed the name. They're called the Links, and they play card and smoke and meet. It's like a social club, and they somehow stay away from drinking, but they don't have our program. There is no spirituality in their program. So when I came back there, I introduced for the first time a meditation meeting in Sweden and celebration meeting that we have here. There no cake before I got to Sweden, and now they have it. So I've been part of it. I also arranged the first Scandinavian big AA meeting. So I'm giving back a little bit. Are you going to kick me out? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty much done. See if I missed anything from my notes. I got a new telephone. They are just amazing. Once you learn how to do them, it's fantastic. I ended up in software. So I was an IT manager for a public utility company, and we built a big house with a new computer. But this one has many, many times more power than that big machine we did. So I've seen a tremendous development. My favorite saying of all these here, you don't have it here, but that was, "This too shall pass." I like that so much. Because the name of the game is to get over the rough spots and not drink, but move on. So I use that a lot. This too shall pass. And if I had really bad days, I thought, this day last year, did I have bad days? Yes, I had problems then too, but I can't remember what was the problem. So couldn't be that serious, right? It just felt very serious. But this too shall pass is my favorite saying. And I think I got most of the things I've figured out here. So now I have no sponsor in AA. I have had sponsors. Now I have a sponsor in my Bible study groups, because I heard in AA that it's not enough to go to AA. You need to go to church or some really higher power too. So I'm in that category now, and it feels great. Thank you very much.
Whose father?